Hi students, I am Dr. Anurag Agarwal and this is OSN Academy of English since 1998. Once again, I am back here for all the new beginners, for all the Pan-India students who wish to qualify the UGC NET December 2023 or even the June 2024. Why? Because always remember, my dear students, that the UGC NET preparation should start much in advance. Even I would say that even if a student is in BA third year, he or she must start their journey. The world has changed. The competition has risen so much. Remember that the IS students, the medical students, the engineering students, how they are able to qualify these high-level profile examinations. Because if a student is in class 12th and has to qualify the medical engineering, you must be knowing that they start their preparation when they are in class 8th, 9th or 10th. A UPSC aspirant start their preparation when they are in 12th or BA1 or BSc1 or graduation. Then they are able to achieve their dream in a less time. Same is the case with this high profile examination also. Don't think that it is a cup of tea for everybody. Not at all. It is only for those studious students who wish to do something in life in the field of English literature, wish to become a lecturer, assistant professor, then professors in prestigious colleges of India and anywhere. Me as a professor in English, teaching NET, UPSC and all the literature examinations pan-India past 25-26 years. I welcome all you students once here, especially the beginners, जिनको कहीं समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि वो कहाँ पढ़ें, कहाँ ना पढ़ें, कौन अच्छा है, कौन नहीं है, क्या करें, क्या ना करें. So my dear students, this is OSN Academy Private Limited, an academy which is a synonym to literature, which is a world of literature where I have been teaching past 25 years with my offline classes, where students have been coming from the entire country and making their dreams come true. But it has been a blessing after COVID that the entire system has changed to the online. And yes, it is a great blessing for the poorest of students in India who could make their dream come true in a very small price, in a very small fees. Those who could not travel, those who could not afford the hostel fees, those who are in jobs, those who are married, even they have children, family, and so many other liabilities in life. OSN Academy is a platform where trust is something which is being nurtured by me, by my experience, by my production of the entire country's students making their careers with English literature. So today I am back here with all the beginners who would be getting my classes, this class, this session, and in future also as a recorded form, that there are 10 units in the syllabus of UGC NET. Drama, poetry, fiction, short story, non-fictional prose, language, basic concepts, English in India, cultural studies, literary criticism, literary theory, post-World War II, and research methods. Though these 10 units are prolific, they need studiousness in your mind, brain, sharpness. You need actually a good mentor. You need a proper study material which should have the content-rich things, not like the commercial guidebooks which are available in different platforms of the country. So my dear students, if you have to see the OSN profile, you can go to the Google review. You can go to our YouTube channel OSN Academy, subscribe the channel. You can download the application OSN Academy. You can see my Facebook account. You can see the Instagram. And to your surprise, when you will match the quality, the experience, the content and the atmosphere, how I have been teaching, you will be amazed. Actually, students, I don't need any competition in my entire world. because OSN Academy, actually me, Dr. Agarwal, has no competition. Those students who wish to study quality, they only study with OSN Academy. The numbers, the interviews, the profile, the glamour, the marketing, I am above all these things, my dear students. So never base yourself in all these marketing activities, which I refrain myself being a government professor in English. So my dear students, आप बहुत अच्छे से चीज़ों को समझते हैं, जानते हैं. All teachers are good teachers, but where you feel to study, always rely there. जहां आपका दिल बोले कि नहीं हमें तो यहाँ पढ़ना है, study there. Whether it may be Dr. Agarwal, whether it may be X, Y or Z students. It is your time, it is your money, it is your dream, which I have to make it come true. So you have to be with me, I have to be with you. And yes, आज सुबह से भी कई बच्चों ने ज्वाइन किया हमारा bilingual batch. Even the South India students are joining the pure English batch, and they always say that yes sir, your classes, the content, the quality, everything is amazing. So it is not a thing of, what to say, I am not proud of it. I am actually happy that I could manage my experience of teaching for more than 25 years, जिससे कि बच्चों को वो level, वो perfection, वो experience मिल रहा है. Am I sure बच्चों? You must be very happy कि आज जो हम session लेके आ रहे हैं, या हम जो आपको बताने जा रहे हैं, each and every student would be very happy to understand how to prepare UGC NET in English. अब हम देखते हैं how many students are live with me. श्रेया तिवारी, सुमन अनुरागी, सुमित्रा थिरुमूर्ति, ममता राजे, विजय लक्ष्मी, okay, sir, teach for the exam, also UPSC, Salma Khatun, yes. So many more students, they should come live immediately. And my dear students, share this link immediately on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, on your status, so that this classroom, this session is going to be a very important session. And yes, students, if you are actually here live with me, do start comment, like the press button, subscribe the channel for the new students. And yes, now wait what I am going to teach you. And I am able to see so many students who are already enrolled in my academy, in my paid classes, but still they are here present to understand that what is sir going to teach or going to guide us. Vijay Lakshmi, my UPSC classes are already going on. If you want my UPSC classes or UPSC study material, the number is given on the screen. You may contact our executive for that. Thank you. So now, I have already told you the 10 units. Now if I talk about, for example, Unit 1. And the name of the Unit 1 is Drama. So, for example, you are going to join my classes or you are going to take the study material packet. Now I will explain you that how I teach chronological wise, unit wise, drama. So my dear students, the first which comes to you or which is taught is the history of English literature, that is called Preface to Drama. A preface to drama, where you will understand that how drama inculcated, how drama came into existence, and this may be understood as history of English literature. The second topic would be Elizabethan drama. Many students confuse that why the Unit 1 is not, Chaucer is not there, Spencer is not there. So I tell them, my dear students, the Unit 1 is drama. So when the Unit 1 is drama, how can poetry come in between? So poetry is the second unit, which is known as poetry. So students, they understand that, yes sir, I was confused, now I have understood it. Fine. Suman ji कह रही हैं कि your session is very important, informative. Thank you, Suman Anuragi ji. So a preface to drama, then Elizabethan drama. Now, my dear students, what is taught in the Elizabethan drama? Here it is taught the Elizabethan age. मैं शॉर्ट में लिख देता हूं, एलिजाबेथन एज. और क्या पढ़ाते हैं इसमें? डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एलिजाबेथन ड्रामा, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एलिजाबेथन ड्रामा, मैं शॉर्ट में लिख दे रहा हूं. नाउ यूनिवर्सिटी विट्स, these are the important topics which are taken. Now the Christopher Marlowe is the important dramatist, and then William Shakespeare. So these are the this which is taught in the sessions, whether it is pure English or whether it is bilingual batch. Now, after this first point, second point, now comes the third point. What is the third point, students? That is comes the Jacobian age. Third point is Jacobian age. Jacobian age में it is Ben Jonson, then George Chapman, then इसको नोट कर लीजिए, Thomas Dekker. Then how many of you remember the other names? You can write it down on the comment box. Then it is Thomas Middleton. Then it is Thomas Heywood. In this way you can remember the important writers. Then it is Cyril Turner. Then John Webster. Then comes Beaumont and Fletcher. Beaumont and Fletcher and James Shirley. So these are the important writers which has to be taken into consideration. Now, my dear students, that was the third point. Now the fourth point is the Restoration drama. In Restoration drama, first come the features, then Sir George Itherje, William Wycherley, Sir John Vanbrugh, William Congreve, George Farquhar, John Dryden, and Sir Charles Sedley. Now, going on in a chronological manner, after the Restoration drama, the classes will be conducted on modern British drama. Now, what is modern British drama? The features are there: the Irish theatre movement, the words drama, working class drama and the angry young man, alienation and the epic theatre, absurdist drama, literary trends. And how can we forget the main dramatists like George Bernard Shaw, Sean O'Casey, J.M. Synge, T.S. Eliot, and Oscar Wilde. After this comes the postmodern dramatist. In the postmodern dramatist, students, comes Terence Rattigan, Arnold Wesker, Carlyle Churchill, Christopher Fry, Harold Pinter, Noel Coward, Samuel Beckett, Christopher Fry, and Ellen Bennett Joe Orton. So these are the postmodern dramatists. इसके बाद बच्चों अमेरिकन ड्रामेटिस्ट में जो मेजर हैं, that is Eugene O'Neill, who has written The Hairy Ape, Desire Under the Elms, Anna Christie, Emperor Jones, and Morning Becomes Electra. Then Tennessee Williams की है A Streetcar Named Desire. Then The Glass Menagerie, Elwood Elby, Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman, All My Sons. Then students come Indian drama and theatre. Under the Indian drama and theatre, we have to introduce about this. Then Mahesh Dattani, Vijay Tandulkar, Girish Karnad, Badal Sarkar, and so many. Then last but not least, African dramatists, Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, Bessie Head, M.S. Tutola, Nadim Godimer, and so many great Nobel Prize winners and great men of scholars and great dramatists of Africa. Any questions? So this is the entire, course of Unit 1. So students, you can actually understand that just going through the short drama, maybe a new student, a beginner, might not understand. But now when I'm explaining you, then you can understand that where your preparation is lacking. Are you able to cover these things in your classes or in your study material or in your self-preparation? Many students I have found, they just want to study through the Google or the self-studies or the YouTube free classes, free. Okay, that is good. Free classes are good. Self-studies is also good. But my dear students, it is actually very haphazard. It wastes your time. Your time is so precious. So when OSN Academy and Dr. Agarwal is with you, then why to waste time? Why to waste time, so precious time on Google and Wikipedia? Now, as I have just told you about the Unit 1, so यहाँ पे I would like to question you students. Any questions? Shreya Tiwari, Vijay Lakshmi, Shreya, how many students are live here? जो भी बच्चे हैं सब कमेंट बॉक्स में आ जाएं. Subscribe the channel for the new students and press the like button if you know that yes, sir is always does great hard work for the students of UPSC, for NET, for PGT, TGT, DSSB, so many set examinations, JAIL Telangana, and so many other examinations. And my dear students, I really appreciate, I really wish that for getting the right knowledge, the right concept, the right type of, the intellectual property you should have, you can actually trust on my classes. You can actually trust with blind eyes. But blindly you can trust, this I can assure you 100% with guarantee. चलिए बताइए, any questions? So in this way, students, Unit 2, Unit 3, that is poetry, then fiction, non-fiction, in the same way, you will be getting the classes, you will be getting, for example, if I take about poetry, मान लीजिए मैं यहाँ लिख देता हूँ POETRY, that is Unit 2. So why students, they love OSN? Why? Because the level, the base, and the concept they get, that is actually, amazing for them. If I talk about poetry, the first class is introduction, different kinds of poetry. Yes, Harleen Kaur, beta, you can ask not even one, but you can ask 100 questions. Yeah, and different types of poetry, growth of literature, personal elegiac poems, war poems, that is about the Anglo-Saxon poetry. No, you don't need to read the text in detail because that is technically not possible in the examination of UGC NET. Fine, Harleen. So if I talk about the Anglo-Saxon poetry, in the section of poetry, you have to about the personal elegiac poems, the riddles, the epic poems, and a brief account of the Anglo-Saxon poetry. Now comes the 14th century. 14th century like this. 15th century. In the 14th century, it is the Chaucer's age, Godfrey Chaucer, John Gower, William Langland, and English Chaucerian, and don't forget the Scottish Chaucerians. If I talk about the 15th century, we have only Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard. If we talk about the next, that is the Elizabethan period, it is the characteristics of this period: Edmund Spenser, Philip Sidney, Michael Drayton, Thomas Campion, Samuel Daniel, and others. Then we come to the next, that is called MP, that is metaphysical poetry. Again, the introduction, the characteristics: John Donne, Marvell, George Herbert, Henry Wogum, and so many others. Then we have the Cavalier poets. Who are the Cavalier poets? The 17th century lyric poetry: George Wither, Sir John Suckling, Richard Lovelace, Edmund Waller, Robert Herrick. Then we will also study about Milton, John Milton. Then after Milton, we come to the transitional poets. Who were the transitional poets? Like James Thomson, William Collins, William Cowper, James Macpherson, Thomas Chatterton, And yes, who are the precursors of romanticism, जिसके वजह से romanticism आया दोबारा से, and that is you must be knowing about them. That is Robert Gray, नहीं, Thomas Gray, Robert Burns, William Blake, Edmund Burke. And then comes the romantic poetry with the introduction of William Wordsworth, Coleridge, Robert Southey, Lord Byron, P.B. Shelley, and John Keats. Fine. So these are the stepwise preparation. Then we come to the Victorian poetry, that is the pre-Raphaelite poetry. Alfred Lord Tennyson, Robert Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, D.G. Rossetti, Christina Rossetti, William Morris, A.C. Swinburne, G.M. Hopkins, Edward Fitzgerald, and A.E. Houseman in the modern poetry. Sumitra, which part we need to give more importance in the text set? See, in the UGC NET examination there are 10 units. So, किसी भी एक यूनिट में कम या ज़्यादा, to my calculation, is not the right approach. You have to study in totality, because once you study every unit proper in a specific period of time, then you are able to qualify this exam very easily. Otherwise, suppose if you are not preparing British poetry, British drama or poetry, and for example, in your turn, many more questions are asked in drama and poetry and less in theory and critical theory, then what you will do? So it is actually like a gamble. You cannot say. So I always say that don't trust on what is important, what is not important. I always teach my students everything, whatever is I understand from my point of view and from my experience of last 25 years. And that is why OSN Academy students are able to qualify in much better marks and in much, in a less time period of preparation, because they get what actually is needed. If I talk about the modern poetry, you have to study about A.E. Houseman, Ted Hughes, Dylan Thomas, W.B. Yeats, T.S. Eliot, W.H. Auden, Seamus Heaney. Now, if I talk about the American poets, Washington Irving, William Cullen Bryant, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Edgar Allan Poe, Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, Robert Frost, Wallace Stevens, Sylvia Plath, Carl Sandburg. And if I talk about Australian poets, A.D. Hope, Judith Wright. Indian poetry, Ramanujan, Partha Sarthi, Meena Alexander, K.K. Daruwala, Toru Dutt, Jayant Mahapatra, Purushottam Lal, Nizim Ezekiel, Kamla Das, and so many. So these are, I take one-to-one sessions with the students. Whenever they are in problem, I give them the Zoom meet and I interact with my students who are in the paid batch, and that interaction is one-to-one, so that the student may be able to get one-to-one time with me and they can solve their queries. So that is why OSN Academy is a place where you can have trust without any, without any second thinking, without any second choice, if you are going to be the best in our country, in your scope and in your intellectual property. If I talk about in the poetry section, African poets में आता है Gabriel Okara, Amri Baraka, and so many others. इसी तरह से बच्चों को फिक्शन होता है, उसी प्रकार से नॉन फिक्शन, क्रिटिसिज्म, क्रिटिकल थ्योरी, कल्चरल स्टडीज, रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी, सबका डिटेल एनालिसिस होता है. Fine. So I hope students you can understand that how the system works with me, as my teaching is concerned in the bilingual batch and the pure English batch. And yes, you will also be getting the PYQs, the MCQs, the test series, the paper 1 book, the paper 1 test series, the paper 1 classes, and it is a combo batch where you can get everything. And for getting everything or to see the world of literature, just visit osnacademy.com as my website, OSN Academy on the Play Store. Whether it is iOS, the iPhone, for iPhone you will have to use the code. अगर आपके पास iPhone है तो use the code VESTI. And if you don't have the iPhone, the Android, direct you can go to the Play Store and download it. See the world of literature, any queries, any help. And yes, do join the December batch or the June 2024 batch, because hundreds of students are studying under my guidance for the June 2024. As I have said earlier, as I was starting this session, that the early you start, the early you are able to qualify, because it is a great competition. Lakhs of students, they study and they take the examination, and the success rate according to the cutoff is very less. So be on the top, and for being in the top you have to have that great knowledge. And एक बार एक कहावत है, knowledge is power. So the more knowledge you are, you will be having, the more powerful you become. But now it depends कि आपकी knowledge का level क्या है. Reading books, reading the commercial guides from the Arihant, like for example from the you know, this social medias guides, no doubtedly they help you a lot. But for my thinking, they are not made by, you know, professors who have been teaching NET past so many years. So I have come to know that guides cannot give you that level of intellectual property, and these are the different batches which students can get as per their need. The study material is given for all the, you know, examinations which I take in my application. Thank you students, and I hope you a great day. And for those who are trying to make their career in the coming examinations, so many examinations are lined up in India, as far as Tamil Nadu set, Telangana JL, Assam examination, Rajasthan, and UPSC, PCS examinations. So they may try to inculcate all those intellectuality under my guidance if they think that yes, this is the right place. Thank you so much students. Have a great day. We'll meet you very soon next. So subscribe the channel and like the channel.